Hey everyone, in today's video I just want to talk about how isolating tinnitus can feel, because I've personally experienced it myself and I know that many of you are feeling this way right now, and I just hope that this video can provide some comfort in some way, just reminding you that you are not alone. Going through tinnitus is such a intense experience, and I know that for myself, when I first heard my tinnitus, I was just so taken back by it, and I didn't even know it existed when it came into my life. I mean, to just start hearing this ringing sound out of nowhere was just, it's so hard to describe, and I'm sure that many of you can relate to this, and it just completely tips your world upside down. I just couldn't believe what I was hearing, and it just totally sent me spiraling. It can feel so alienating when you are the only one that can hear it. And I know that for me, nobody in my family or circle had ever experienced tinnitus. And so it really just felt like I was the only one who could understand what I was going through. And it just felt really isolating to feel like nobody else could empathize with what was going on for me, and that was really difficult because it's harder for people to understand or talk to you about something that they have very little awareness of. Because tinnitus has this invisible nature, it's really hard for other people to understand because they aren't experiencing it. So you can kind of explain what it sounds like and try to get them to understand, but it's just really quite difficult if they've never experienced it, right? So I think that is a huge aspect of how isolating it can feel. And I know for me, not knowing anyone that had tinnitus was really scary, because it made me think, oh my God, am I completely abnormal? There must be something wrong with me. I'm not healthy. I'm going to go deaf. I have hearing loss. I have all of these different things, and I started to worry about certain conditions or disorders that maybe this is the first symptom of, and it's just so scary when you are the only one that is going through what you're going through, if that makes sense. And because people have very little understanding about tinnitus, maybe people even in your own circle, it can be even harder for them to understand just how distressing it is. And I know for me, I felt this need to explain what I'm hearing and really try to over-explain what I was going through, because I was like, oh my God, you guys don't understand, you have no idea what I'm hearing. And it was just so overwhelming. And yeah, it's just so overwhelming. I think there's another element of how isolating tinnitus can be, because, it sends you into a spiral of things like anxiety and depression, and that, creates social withdrawal. And even just going to meet friends and family or to go out, it's easy to withdraw from those situations as well because of your mental health and its decline that often comes with tinnitus. But as well, you might feel like you can't hear people properly or you can't communicate properly because of how loud the sound is. And I know that for me, it took me a while to feel like I could even just be myself, my normal self, whatever that means, with people, because I was just so focused and overwhelmed by the sound. It really took me time to get back to a place where I was able to engage with the world around me properly again. It's funny because my mum and my partner, they have experienced tinnitus just for very short periods, maybe 30 seconds or a few minutes. And if one of them says that they can hear tinnitus, I almost start laughing. And it's really bizarre because I think it's because of that sense of connection. When you feel like you're not alone in your suffering and there's that shared sense of suffering, there is actually a lot of comfort in that. And so I kind of, in that moment, I just think, oh my God, someone else is experiencing what I'm experiencing. And even though I would never wish this on anybody, to hear tinnitus or to go through suffering, there is something that just, feels really comforting to know that you're not the only one that is experiencing something. At the end of the day, humans are social creatures, and sharing experiences brings about a sense of connection and belonging. And, we're usually seeking validation and support. And so it definitely helps to feel less alone in your experiences when, you're going through something like tinnitus and just anything in life. Sharing suffering with others, it validates our own experience, and we feel less isolated because we don't feel so abnormal. And so I think that's why I wanted to make this YouTube channel, to kind of be honest and transparent and share with people that life is full of suffering and struggle, and that it's actually really normal to go through that. And I hope that this channel, helps you in some way, just knowing that you're not alone. I'm not making these videos for you to be fixed overnight. That would be great if that was possible, but at the end of the day, we all have to go through our own unique healing journeys, whatever that looks like, whether you suffer more with anxious feelings or depression or whatever it might be. We all have things in life that create discomfort and bring challenges in our life, and it's a matter of kind of taking action and looking at those things and doing deeper self-work in order to make real progress. And that's kind of, I guess, the message that I want to share, is that things just don't get fixed overnight with little effort involved. It usually takes really looking at ourselves in a deeper way, why we are the way that we are, in order to see real progress with our coping mechanisms and our patterns and our habits. And that's kind of really what I'm interested in life, is how humans work. And I want to be able to share those things on this channel, which hopefully will help you in your tinnitus journey. Tinnitus was just a force to be reckoned with, because it was the thing that got me to actually slow down and think, like, hang on, what am I stressed about? What am I anxious about? What am I going through that I need to be looking at? Which I may have never looked at without tinnitus properly, because of how distressing tinnitus was, it got me to start doing that, which I guess is kind of a good thing in the long run. At the end of the day, I just want to remind you that you are not alone and you aren't crazy, and this isn't all in your head. It's a very real experience that's incredibly challenging, and don't expect yourself to be able to overcome this overnight. And it's okay to feel like that's what you want, and that it makes sense to feel frustrated when you're not making much progress. I totally understand that, and I've gone through all of this myself, but I think I realized that, it's going to be a slow process. For some it's quicker than others. It really depends on who you are and what you're going through and how you're managing that. But I think that ultimately, once I took that pressure off of expecting it to be gone within a second, and for focusing so much on trying to get rid of it, that is what helped it fade more and more into the background, because I started to focus on other things in my life, what I could do to bring me joy, what will kind of be something that brings more balance into my life that I can work on, what changes can I make to feel less anxious, to take care of myself, like my mind and my body, all of these kinds of things. And so that's what I just really recommend, is to not put so much pressure on yourself, to the best of your ability, and remind yourself that you can and will get better. It's just a matter of time and doing these things and figuring out what works for you on your own journey, because I'm not you. We're all completely different, and we all have completely different experiences, and it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. So this video is a little unscripted, and I'm kind of just speaking my mind, so I don't know if this has all come off really scrambled, so I apologize if that's the case. But yeah, I hope that you know that you're not alone, and I see you, and I completely understand what you're going through and how difficult it is and how isolating it is. And I'm going to make a lot more videos on a lot of this stuff going forward, and that's why I've made this channel. And yeah, I would absolutely love if you could subscribe to my channel. I am trying to get to 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If that's possible, that would be epic. I would love to get to a point where I can spend more of my time and energy on making these videos. It's very meaningful for me to be able to help people such as yourself that are struggling. And yeah, it would be awesome if you could hit the subscribe button and join me on this YouTube journey. Keep believing in your ability to heal, and please stay hopeful. And if you haven't seen some of my other videos, then go and check them out, because maybe they'll be helpful in some way. And I will see you in the next video.